Hi everyone, it's Chrissy. So I wanted to do this video because a lot of people right now are still struggling within the lbgtq community. For those of you who do not know what that means, it's an acronym for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning. We have added, the community itself has added a little plus symbol uh, in the recent years, and that's to include allies and everybody else. And that's something that really I wanted to touch base on. The reason why is I live here in Minot, North Dakota, and our community has made news quite a bit, a lot recently, due to our mayor's decision to raise the LBGTQ flag as an act of kindness and compassion. Um, our council and our mayor were under fire for a while for a lot of hate speech. While people say it wasn't really hate speech, it really was. It was directed at the decision to raise the flag as a special interest group, when really it was brought to the council as an act of kindness because the LGBTQ community still faces a lot of struggle. We are still able to be evicted from our homes. We are still technically able to um, have problems adopting children. We can be denied loans. There's all sorts of problems that the world needs to know. And this is what a lot of the LGBTQ communities are trying to do, is we're trying to raise awareness for these problems we face, because other minority groups are facing these problems. Native Americans are still called to this day dirty Indians. African Americans still struggle with acceptance. Um, Even white people, traditionally white people, still struggle. I am Native American myself. Even though my skin is very pale, it's because I'm also Irish and German. But I am I have a good chunk of Native in me, enough to have my descendancy paperwork on hand pretty much all the time. Um, and we believe in two-spirited people, which are people of non-binary, which means you don't really affirm with neither female or male gender. You like things from both, you dress from both, etc. And this touched me so hard because, as a member of the LGBTQ community myself, I was so happy and so relieved when I saw the flag being raised, and I couldn't be at the flag raising ceremony, but to me it brought hope. It brought progression. It brought, coming from growing up where I was actually cornered and beat for who I was, it brought a lot of hope for future generations, and that is important to me. I have found out that our local high school has become very accepting. Um, there are genderless bathrooms now, which is huge compared to when I went to school there. I actually graduated from our local school, and that was not a thing. If you were trans, you had to keep it hidden, and you had to use your destined at birth gender bathroom. And it was horrifying for a lot of my friends. If you were caught holding hands with your someone of your gender, or you were caught kissing, it was still a big deal and you could be beat for it. And to me that was a huge thing, and it was very common. Up until a few years ago, we couldn't even get married. So the world has really gone forward in the way of progression, towards accepting, but there is still a lot to do. And that's why that flag raising ceremony was so important. Um, and I really feel that this message needs to be sent out to the world. One, we do not associate with pedophiles. Two, we are very loving and accepting. We celebrate our pride because it is who we are. And pride for us is being able to be yourself, to love who you love. We don't shove it really in your face, but we do want it acknowledged that we are human. We have the same rights as a traditional couple. There are quite a few of us who are Christian. There's also quite a few of us who are just spiritualists. There's also quite a few of every religion. And so I feel religion needs to be taken out of the picture when it comes to addressing the lbgtq community. Um, Jesus said, love thy neighbor. That means love your pagan neighbor, love your homeless neighbor, love your gay neighbor, love your strange neighbor, love your neighbor as if you would love yourself. Um, and that is our major message, is equality. Thank you. I will see you all again next time. Please again, like and subscribe. I know this is a pretty touch-go subject, and I'm sorry for that, but I do feel that it needs to be said as many times and as loudly as possible. We are here, we are queer, and we are staying.